You are 24 years old, and you own exactly one thing, a pressure washer. You bought it secondhand for $400 from a man who was moving and needed it gone by Friday. You loaded it into the back of your car yourself and drove home with the hatch propped open because it didn't quite fit. That night, you made a flyer on your laptop. Nothing designed, just text on a white page. You printed 60 copies at the library for $2.40 and put them on every door in 3 neighborhoods, by yourself, on a Saturday morning, while everyone was still asleep. By Sunday afternoon, you had 4 calls. By the following Saturday, you had made $780. After gas and the cost of printing more flyers, you netted $610. Your first business made $610 in its first week. You told nobody. There was nothing to tell yet. It was a pressure washer and a flyer and a Saturday. But you wrote the $610 in a notebook, and underneath it, you wrote one word: proof. You are 26. The pressure washing business clears $4,200 a month reliably. You have 2 part-time workers now, both paid per job, and the equipment is better. You don't do the work anymore. You schedule, you answer the phone, and you collect. The business runs 4 days a week without your hands on it. This is the thing you noticed early that most people never notice at all. A business that needs you every day is not a business. It is a job with extra steps. You wanted the thing that runs while you sleep. So every time you found yourself doing something repetitive, you wrote a process for it, trained someone else on the process, and removed yourself from the task. You did this again and again until the only thing left requiring you was the decision-making. Then you started questioning whether even that needed to be you. That same year you buy your second thing, a small lawn care route. 12 residential accounts paying monthly. The previous owner was retiring and just wanted it off his hands. You paid $8,000 for it, borrowed from the pressure washing profits. Within 3 months, you have added 7 more accounts. Within 6 months, the route nets $2,900 a month, managed by 1 part-time crew. You now own 2 businesses. Both run without you most days. Combined, they produce $7,100 a month. You drive the same car. You live in the same apartment. You tell no one what the 2 businesses make together. This is the year you understand something that will define everything that comes after it. Revenue is noise. Cash flow is the signal. And the gap between your income and your lifestyle is the only number that actually builds anything. You are 29. The holding company does not exist on paper yet, but it exists in your head clearly. You see it the way an architect sees a building that hasn't been poured yet. A parent company at the top owning several small operating businesses underneath it. Each one boring, each one essential, each one throwing off cash into the center while you allocate that cash into the next acquisition. You have been reading every book you can find on the subject: buying businesses, operating systems, capital allocation, the language of the thing becoming clearer every month. You register the holding company. You give it a plain, forgettable name. You open a separate bank account for it. You move the pressure washing company and the lawn care route underneath it as subsidiaries. The holding company now owns 2 things and produces $7,100 a month in combined net cash flow. You sit with that for a minute. Then you go find the third thing. The third thing is a small residential cleaning company. The owner wants out. Burned out, 3 employees, decent client list, inconsistent systems. You pay $22,000 for it using holding company cash. You spend 90 days fixing the systems, standardizing the processes, replacing 1 employee who was the bottleneck. By month 4, the cleaning company nets $3,800 a month, and you have touched it less than 6 hours a week for the last 2 months. Holding company cash flow is now $10,900 a month. You are 29 years old. You have never mentioned any of this at a dinner table. You have never posted any of it. Your friends think you do something with small businesses. That is all they know, and that is all you have offered. You are 32. The holding company owns 6 businesses now: pressure washing, lawn care, residential cleaning, a small junk removal company, a mobile car detailing operation, and a vending machine route with 34 machines across 11 locations. None of them are interesting at a dinner party. Every single one of them is essential. People always need their driveways cleaned, their lawns cut, their houses cleaned, their junk removed, their cars detailed, and their snacks available in a break room. Recession or not, market crash or not, these are not luxury services. They are the bottom of the economy, unglamorous, unnoticed, and relentlessly cash generative. Combined net cash flow is $31,000 a month. You have stopped thinking in months. You think in annual deployment. $372,000 a year in distributable cash flow available to acquire the next thing. You are 35. You make the largest acquisition of your life so far. A regional pest control company. 340 residential accounts. 80 commercial accounts. Recurring monthly revenue. Contracts. A service people cancel last even when money is tight because the alternative is worse. You pay $780,000 for it, using a combination of holding company cash and a small business loan you negotiate at a rate that surprises the banker because your holding company financials look nothing like what he expected to walk in the door. The pest control company adds $18,400 a month in net cash flow within the first year of your ownership. Holding company total cash flow crosses $51,000 a month for the first time. You cross $600,000 in annual cash flow. That evening, you sit at your kitchen table with a notebook and do the math. At a conservative valuation multiple, the holding company is worth somewhere between $4 and $6 million. You close the notebook. You make dinner. You do not tell anyone. You are 38. A private equity firm contacts you through the holding company email. Someone has been watching the pest control company specifically. They want to acquire it. You take the meeting. You listen more than you talk. You learn from the meeting more than they learn from you. You decline the offer. What you take away from that meeting is the language of how these companies are valued, the multiples they use, the metrics they watch. You go home and apply that lens to every business you own. You find 2 of your businesses are underperforming against what the market would pay for them at their current size, and you spend the next 18 months growing those 2 specifically. This is the year you stop being an operator who owns businesses and become a capital allocator who happens to own operating companies. The difference is the difference between working in the machine and working on it. You are 41. The holding company owns 11 businesses. Total annual revenue has crossed $9 million. Net cash flow available to the holding company after all operating expenses, debt service, and reinvestment is $94,000 a month. You have never taken a salary from the holding company larger than $72,000 a year. The gap between what the company makes and what your life costs has been compounding for 17 years. You do not own a yacht. You do not own a second home. You drive a 4-year-old truck with 67,000 miles on it. You are at every valuation metric the private equity world uses, quietly, a wealthy man. And not one person who has known you for 17 years could point to the day it happened. You are 44. You take the call you have been thinking about for 2 years. A regional roll-up firm wants to acquire the entire portfolio. Not one business, all of them. They spend 3 months in your financials. They find what you already know. 11 businesses, consistent cash flows, clean books, documented systems that run without the owner. The kind of portfolio that is nearly impossible to build and nearly impossible to find when you want to buy it. The number they put on the table is $47 million. You negotiate. You take $52 million and retain a minority interest in 3 of the businesses you believe have the most growth remaining. The transaction closes on a Thursday. Your attorney calls to confirm. You thank him. You end the call. You sit in your truck in the parking lot of the same library where you printed 60 flyers for $2.40 20 years ago. The same building, the same parking lot. You look at it for a long time. You are 24 again in the memory of it. A pressure washer in the back of your car. A hatch that didn't quite close. 60 pieces of paper with just text on them. 4 calls on a Sunday. $610 in a notebook with the word proof underneath it. You did not have a plan. You had a question. What is the smallest thing I can own that runs without me?
And then you asked it again, and again, and again for 20 years, until the answer was worth $52 million and 11 companies and a holding company with a plain, forgettable name that nobody ever looked up. Somewhere right now, someone is buying a second-hand piece of equipment, loading it into their car, making a flyer. They are not thinking about a holding company. They are thinking about Saturday. That is exactly right. The holding company was never the starting point. It was only ever what Saturday became after you stopped asking whether it was worth it and started asking what came next.